Okay, we're going to be doing the sister railing of the one I did a couple days ago. So I've already got it marked out. So these are the tools that I used to mark it out. The blue tape so I can see the marks on the post, and tape measure and a square and string and a staple gun. So what I did was I measured down for 3-inch spacing, and I strung a string between the 5th line down all the way up just to get a reality check on what I needed and how to measure and make sure it looked okay. And then for the middle post, where the string laid, I made a mark, and then I marked the other locations for the screws. So this is what it takes to, at least on my situation, to get it laid out. This part is the most critical to getting it to look halfway decent. So the next thing I'm going to do is start drilling holes using the measuring block. And I made a pretty big error on this side because this railing and this railing are not the same angle. I assumed they were. This is 30 degrees, this is 35 degrees. So when I started to put the screws in, they started to get a little tight as I got some tension on them. So I did get them in, got them relatively tight. Still have to tighten them down a little bit more, but get your angles right. Measure your angle from the railing top, not the stairs. Because the stairs here are 30 degrees, this railing is 35 degrees. Why they did that, I don't know, but when I measured it from the stairs. The stair angle is the same. The railing angle is, for some reason, different. And I didn't want to match the angle of the stairs because then my OCD would be off because I'm always looking at the railing as being a straight edge. So that's a little tip for the day. Measure your angle from the railing top. So that's where we stand. I'm going to start drilling some holes, and I will show you how that goes. Okay, so now I'm drilling through the middle post using this block, which is pretty bad, but it does get the angle right. Where the posts are actually 35 degrees. I'm doing this one at 30 degrees, only because the inserts that I have are angled at 30 degrees, and you're never going to notice the difference, but in the end you do. But the problem with this block is, and it could be my clamping method or what, but this is dead on balls in the center of the post. However, when it comes through the post, it's off many times by a 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Now if you do that over 10 posts, 10 holes, you're going to, they're all going to be jagged. So what I do is I just drill through till it's just poking through, so I know where to drill, and then I'll drill a hole at that angle in the center of the post so they kind of match up. And now I know where to measure 3 inches up. I wanted to get it exactly right. So on the first hole, that's what I do, is I drill through the post till it just pokes out, find the center, and then drill that hole, and then I can drill up at an angle halfway through the post for the rest of them, and then drill halfway through the post for the other side. So that's kind of how I get in the center, because they will be a little off, because it could be the clamping force, the angle of the block could be off a millimeter, and that's throwing it off over 3.5 inches. So that's where we stand on this one. And just for reference, this is the big mark there is the center of the post, and then the little dot to the left of the vertical line is where the screw auger came through. So now I'm going to drill up at approximately 35 degrees. I'm going to kind of eyeball it. I'm not going to use the jig because the sleeve will mask any of my deficiencies. So that's where we stand, and that's why I don't really trust the jig going through a post. I will be doing the same on the deck, but these stairs are kind of killing me. So and now that I have the first hole on the left side of the post drilled. Now I have a reference so I can measure out 3 inches on each one going forward. So I just needed that first one as a reference. So that's where I stand now, and I can start drilling some holes. Okay, just one more reality check before I commit. So I actually put the string through the middle hole and up to the spot where it will screw in, and the angle looks pretty damn good. I will double check the measurements. This is a fisheye lens, so it's going to look a little off on the video, but in person it looks really good. And I will just double check the measurements before I commit to drilling 10 more holes in the center post. The center post is the most important because otherwise it'll look kind of odd. And you can't even tell that that's drilled at 30 degrees and the other two are 35 degrees. So that's it for this one. Okay, well, I got all the holes drilled, so I'm ready to start putting the screws in. So got those sleeves in the middle one. Not all the way in, just proud a little bit. And here are the tools that I'm going to install. So this is going to be a little recap of the last video. But I got the screws, the washers, the crimps, and the tools. Here's the one that came with it. Here's one I had to modify. And they did send me the bigger one after I complained how horrific this is. This might as well just throw away. It's worthless. I mean, maybe keep it so you can modify it in case you need it, but this one came, and it seems to be a lot better. And I got my soap, the cutter, and the crimp. I've seen people modify these and make blocks and everything. I just taped a block to it to keep it from rolling around. Plus this mount, and makes it install very, very easily. So let's get going. This is definitely a tool that Muzata needs to make. They need to take one of their anchors and just make it really long, because I just struck this up in the drill and I put it into the post. And this gives it some threads. You can see the threads in there, but it makes it so much easier to install the anchors. So Muzata really would be great if they could make a drill bit with this right thread, because it would make installing it into wood so much easier. And I'm going to be installing the crimp now. So what I do each time on the stairs is I actually put the screw in the washer on and I hold it up with some blue tape, because it tends to slide down when you go to do the crimp and it kind of gets in the way. So that just kind of holds it out of the way while you make the crimp. Then take the blue tape off and screw it in and you'll be fine. Okay, I'm all done with this section. Took me all day. It was probably about a 4-hour job or so, give or take. And that's dealing with a mistake that I made, but I was able to correct it. But as you can see, it came out really nice. I did not adhere the washers to the post because I still need to tighten it. So I just wanted to get it semi-tight. And as you can see, I used some blue tape to hold up the washers while I'm tightening the screws, because I don't want the washer to interfere while I'm tightening it. So that made a big difference. And I actually did find a use for the little cheap-ass tool that came with it. When you're on the stairs, on the upper stair, the little tool will get in here. The longer tool interferes with the step. So there is a use for this after all. So definitely hold on to that. But I think the results look pretty good. That's the other side I did the other day, and this side. So that's it from this section, and I will call it a day. And we'll see you in the next video.